It's gonna be a very, very cozy day today, and I have a few things planned on my day off. I woke up late. I went through my morning routine. I have to make my bed. I have to drink AG1, and then I can actually get my cozy day started. So, yeah, let's do it. Some like almonds and cashews, that kind of thing, and I think that's gonna hold me over for a little bit before it's lunchtime. In the morning, it takes me a little bit to drink this because it's the first thing I drink in the morning, but also it's so cold and I feel like my throat kind of just like closes up. So I take my time drinking this, like evaluate my day and see, just like make a mental note of all the things that I need to do, and then I bring out my journal and then I do my actual to-do list on paper, because unless it's on paper, I kind of feel overwhelmed if it's not on paper. So that's what I do. I'm currently in my living room just taking a look at all the house chores that I need to do. Cleaning for the most part. I just think I have a few dishes to do and that's about it. And I cooked yesterday, so actually I have a lot of leftovers that I can manage today, and then I'll probably cook again tomorrow. My pantry's full, but I think I may need to go to the grocery store sometime later this week. Actually, later this week I booked my tickets to go watch Deadpool and Wolverine, and before then I may watch Deadpool today. Yeah, I want to watch the first one and the second one. I feel like it's been a while, so it's gonna be nice to watch those. And a couple months ago, it took me a little while, but I watched a couple of the Wolverine movies, so I feel a little bit more caught up on those. It's gonna be good, hopefully. I feel like it's been a while since we had a Marvel movie. I don't know the last movie that we had in theaters. I'm not quite remembering. Was it Ant-Man? I don't remember. Oh, it might have been Miss Marvel. Yeah, yes. Lady Marvel. Something like that. All done. I gotta read my daily Stoic. Maybe journal about it. So this is a daily Stoic. This is by Ryan Holiday. 366 meditations on wisdom, perseverance, and the art of living. So this has translations of Seneca, Marcus Aurelius, and a whole bunch of other famous philosophers. I try to do it on a daily flip through, but sometimes I just kind of flip to like a random page and have that kind of dictate what I think about specifically that day. So let's see. There's one a few days ago. Nothing is noble if it's done unwillingly or under compulsion. Every noble deed is voluntary. You don't have to do the right thing. You always have the option to be selfish, rude, awful, short-sighted, evil, and stupid. In fact, sometimes there are incentives to break bad. Certainly, not every criminal gets caught. But how does this line of thinking usually work out for people? What's that life like? You don't have to do the right thing, just as you don't have to do your duty. You get to. You want to. Love that. It means like no one has a gun to your head. You just kind of get to do work. You just kind of get to live. You get to eat. You get to complain. You get to sleep. You get to work out. You get to do literally anything. No one's like forcing you to do it. You just get to do it. You want to do it. Every single day is literally just like meditation or letter or just a saying. You know, it's like, it's called Daily Stoic because there is something for every single day of the year. I'm also reading another book by Ryan Holiday right now. It's The Obstacle is the Way. I'm really enjoying it. And then there's two others, Ego is the Enemy and Stillness is the Key. I also have those books, and what I'm doing is I just read them and then I just take notes of like any important things from those books, and I just enjoy doing that every single day. It's really just amazing to me. It really just makes me feel really, reading the Daily Stoic every day or reading The Obstacle is the Way or literally watching a podcast, it just makes me feel really good every single day. It makes me feel like I'm being present. It makes me think about my choices, who I am and who I want to be, how I can be better, and it also allows me to practice a little bit of gratitude too. So I really like doing that, and I think like this has been one of my favorite purchases this year. I believe I bought this last year though. I think I got this for Diwali. It's a thick book, so I don't really take it with me on vacation, but whenever I am home, it's kind of sitting there in my living room. So like first thing in the morning after I go through my morning routine, I just come downstairs and it's the first thing I see, and I just read the Daily Stoic. It truly is just amazing, and it's like a form of self-care. Sometimes I journal about it, sometimes I don't. Sometimes it's just things that just allows me to think, and sometimes I think about it all day, and sometimes I just think about it in the moment and let it go. I just finished several books in the last couple of weeks, actually. I read Goddess of the River. I read Powerless, Powerful, all that in like the last month. Currently, I'm also listening to this new book, Get Honest or Die Lying, Why Small Talk Sucks by Charlamagne the God, and I'm listening to it on Spotify. So this book is read by Charlamagne the God, and I've read his previous two books earlier on this year. I love Brilliant Idiots. I used to also listen to The Breakfast Club back in college. I haven't listened to it since moving to North Carolina, but I remember enjoying it a lot, and I just became a huge fan of him, but mostly it's through Brilliant Idiots. I also like Shultz, Andrew Shultz, and I like Flagrant too as well. A couple of other podcasts that I listen to. Sometimes I'll watch like Call Her Daddy episodes. Sometimes I'll watch the Joe Rogan Experience. I like the Huberman Lab. Lex Friedman. There's this other YouTuber. There's this other podcaster actually, and I think it's only on YouTube. It's called BeerBiceps. Yeah, it's called BeerBiceps, and BeerBiceps is the home of the Ranveer Show, or TRS, Happiness Through Curiosity. So he has a lot of range on his channel. He's from India, and he interviews a lot of people from India, but also he interviews like real estate tycoons, philosophers, psychiatrists. I guess he interviews some actors, politicians, all kinds of people. Literally, like, it's just all kinds of people here. There's just so many good options out there. I love Spotify, I love YouTube, and those are my two most used apps. I put some rice in the rice cooker because I made some chicken curry yesterday, and I just want to have rice with it. Yesterday I had it with chapati, and today I want to have it with rice. Rice and chicken curry is one of my favorite foods ever. I'm gonna have that for lunch today, but until then I want to read. Actually first I want to organize, because if I don't organize now, and I'm gonna be thinking about things to do for the rest of the day, and I won't be able to enjoy my cozy day. So I'm gonna do that. The rice is done. My cousins came over for a few days and we put mehendi on our hands, and mine looks like that. In Telugu we call it Chandamama, which means moon, and just added a little bit of detail. I kept it on overnight so it became like very ripe, very red, and it looks great. I just love this color. Yeah, my hand is big, so these kinds of designs and all that, they just look really good on it. I'm gonna have some lunch and I'm gonna read. I'm really just having a wonderful day. I'm having lunch. This is what my lunch looks like. I have rice and chicken curry and some bundi on the side. And then on TV, I'm watching Reba. I'm on season 2, episode 12. This is called The Vasectomy. I'm just gonna eat this and watch that, and then I think I'm gonna start Magnolia Parks. You hear that? That's thunder. It literally rains like every single day in the summer in North Carolina. Since when does it rain in the summer? But I guess it's a good thing because I think we have like a lot of farmlands in North and South Carolina. I'm just working at my computer for right now. I'm just organizing before I start reading. I'm about to start reading the book Magnolia Parks by Jessa Hastings. All I know about this book so far is that it's about a whole bunch of wealthy kids. So it takes place in London. So Magnolia Parks is a character and BJ Valentine is a character. Magnolia and BJ are written in the stars, just suspended in a strange kind of love that looks like hurting each other a lot of the time. She dates other people to keep him at bay. He sleeps with other girls to get back at her for it. At the end of their every sad endeavor to get over one another, it's still each other they crawl back to. Finally, after years of this, their dysfunction is catching up with them, pulling at their seams and fraying the world they've built. But they're not ready to let go. Not yet, at least. That sounds like Chuck and Blair from Gossip Girl. So this is about Magnolia Parks and BJ Valentine, and they're very wealthy. They live in London, and this is about their little complicated situationship. Sounds entertaining. I feel like I need something like this today. It looks like a pretty chunky book. It's about 430 pages, so it's a pretty good sized book. Really, I have a couple of things to do rest of the day, but I think I'm just gonna start reading this, and I think it's gonna be really fun. There is another book I want to read, Get Honest or Die Lying by Charlamagne the God, the book that I was talking about earlier. But for right now, in this beautiful cozy afternoon, I'm gonna read Magnolia Parks. So my cousins came the other day. We did a whole bunch of fun stuff. We went out, we did like the normal really fun outside things, but while we were inside the house, we painted, we played games, we played Sequence, Jenga, some card games, and then they helped me build my new nightstands. But also we painted. So this is mine. It's like a little cafe. It says coffee right there. So it's like a little cafe. That's what mine looks like. And then one of my cousins, she did a flower. And then my other cousin, she didn't actually paint. She did some embroidery. So she did this, which is so good. She's clearly super talented. And to have the patience to do this is really awesome too. I didn't get to read it all while they were here, which was totally fine because I was just like in the moment and I was having fun just to talk to, my sisters, and it was just amazing. But after they left, I was so down. I was about to cry. I dropped them off at the train station and I was just so sad. They stayed with me for like 5 days and we just had so much fun. It's just so nice to, just talk about everything and anything. And I just feel like myself when I'm with them. When you part ways with people you feel really comfortable with, it's just really sad. I'm gonna see them again like next week. I have other family coming in the meantime, and then I'm also going on a trip in between. So there's just a lot happening in the next month. But the other day I went to the library and I got Bride by Ali Hazelwood. I think I'm gonna start reading this in August. It'll be a nice little introduction into my fall reading list. It is currently middle of summer right now though, and it's hot, it's rainy. I'm trying to make the most of it, but I am really looking forward to fall. If you can see my pantry, it's like organized, but also like not at the same time. Same goes for my fridge, same goes for the cabinets inside my kitchen. Literally it's organized, but not. But I think I'm gonna keep it like that for a little while. I just don't have the time to organize that. I really don't have the mental space to organize them either. My mom has been kind of pushing me to eat more berries, add more berries into my lifestyle. She's like, you need more vitamin C. It's gonna help with your blood. It's gonna help with your mental clarity. It's gonna help with a whole bunch of shit. So I'm gonna have some blueberries right now. These are the blueberries that I got. They're called the Driscoll's, only the finest blueberries. They're organic and there's a good chunk in them, so they're gonna last me for a little while. I also got cherries. Let me show you. I don't know what company this is, but they're just cherries, product of USA. Cherries is supposed to be like anti-inflammatory and high in fiber, as it says right here. Love cherries. I think they still need to ripen up a little bit because I had them last night and they were very sour. I'm gonna wait a couple more days till I have them, but in the meantime, I'm gonna eat this. I also have a whole bunch of bananas, and then I also have watermelon in the fridge. Fruits in the summer are just, I love fruits. I've grown very fond of fruits. I haven't been like that all my life though. It's a very recent thing. Some of them are very squishy. They're sweet. I like blueberries. They're like sweet sour, but more on the sweet side. Nice. It's a very, very sad day that both of these boxes are gonna be thrown out right now. 5-star, this one, I don't know what they put in it. It's 10% extra. It is so much softer. I think this is like the extra soft kind. Oh yeah, the new softer bar. It was so good. This is my favorite. And Munch was a fan favorite as well. I didn't eat these entire thing. I feel like I'm gonna have my uncle send me like 2 of these every couple months because they were such a hit with my family and friends and myself. This was a hit for my friends, but this was a hit for me. I think I have 2 of each left, but I'm gonna throw away the boxes and kind of empty up the pantry a little bit before I put more stuff into it.
I guess there's a homeless shelter up the block. It's a nice area. So I'm assuming it's a nice homeless shelter, but I never thought about it, but I do a lot of work with
Oh, that logo music just gets me pumped.
Hi, this is going to be a little bit of a reading update. I'm about 15% done with Magnolia Parks. It's pretty good. I like it. So far though, it's just a whole bunch of drama between this girl named Magnolia Parks and this guy named BJ. He has like a full name, but I don't really know what that is. It's just BJ. And basically, they used to be in a relationship. Something really bad happened. Some kind of infidelity happened with BJ, and I think with Magnolia as well. And they're not together anymore, but they're very codependent on each other emotionally. And yeah, it's just a little bit messy. This book, I think it is very, very entertaining. I just wish more was happening. I feel like all we're seeing right now is just the 2 of them fighting, flirting, and just going to parties. It may ramp up, but I wouldn't be surprised if it doesn't. There is a lot of heartbreak involved, but other than that, it's not very like deep. It's very entertaining to look inside their lives, see into their society, what's important to them, and all of that. And it's just pure entertainment. I think I'm going to take my time with this book. I'm gonna read it maybe before bed every day. That's Magnolia Parks. Another book I'm reading right now is Ministry of Time. I'm about 10% into that book, and I want to say what an interesting concept. My knowledge of this book is purely from Goodreads. I read the little description. I don't really read the reviews before I start a book. I mean, I glance at like the star rating. It has 3.64, so that's pretty average. This is a time travel romance, a spy thriller, a workplace comedy, and an ingenious exploration of the nature of power and the potential for love to change it all. Welcome to the Ministry of Time, the exhilarating debut novel. This guy from 1847, he's a commander. He's in the Navy, I believe. They bring him back from 1847 to present day. I'm not sure what the exact year is. It might be 2024, but it might also be like a couple of years into the future. So anyways, they bring him back. They ask this woman to basically like have him live with her so he gets used to the world around him, all the modern technology like Spotify, washing machines, the fridge. I think the fridge he calls the icebox, and he also doesn't know the British Empire collapsed. So it's pretty chaotic. So I'm about 10% in, and it's pretty chaotic already. And of course, like him being from 1847, his views on women is quite different. But with an appetite for discovery, a 7-day cigarette habit, and the support of a charming, chaotic cast of fellow expats, he soon adjusts. Over the next year, what the bridge initially thought would be, at best, a horrifically uncomfortable roommate dynamic evolves into something deeper. By the time the true shape of the ministry's project comes to light, the bridge falls in love, and with consequences she never could have imagined. Forced to confront the choices that brought them together, the bridge must finally reckon with how and whether she believes what she does next can change the future. So far, 10% in, he is very overwhelmed, he's very curious, and he is... honestly, he can't even look at the main character's calves. Like, she walks around in dresses or skirts, and he can't even look at her calves. So that's where we are right now. Oh yes, I am also going to start Reckless by Lauren Roberts. I already read Powerful and I already read Powerless. This is basically book number 2 because I think Powerful was book number 1.5. So I'm kind of excited to start Reckless. In my rating, I think the first 2 books were like a 3.75. Actually, the second book, Powerful, I think that was more of a 4. It just came out a couple months ago, so we'll see how this goes. I'm not particularly very attached to any of the characters, not even the main characters, but in that second book I was attached to the 2 characters. So I'm going to start that today. And then another book I'm reading is Obstacle is the Way by Ryan Holiday. I am almost done with it. I'm about 80% done with it. I read it as soon as I wake up every single morning. I take like 15 minutes to read a couple chapters. I write down notes. Let me show you the notes that I write. So I have this little notebook, and my notes kind of just, they look like this at first, and then they turn into this, and then they turned into this. So they started off pretty neat, and they were like perfectly in line with each of the lines on the page, but they soon just started having a mind of their own. So I have this habit of, when I'm reading nonfiction books, especially if it's like more self-help, productivity type books, I like taking notes. I just kind of write down some of the highlights that I like. So that's exactly what I'm doing there. Another book is Welcome to the Hyungdong Bookshop, and I'm about 65% done with that book. It's been taking me a long time to read this book, and that's not because I don't like it. It's only because it is very, very soothing. There is no plot. There is barely any plot, and each of the chapters have their own like distinct character exploration. Sometimes it talks about the customer, sometimes it talks about, you know, the main character. It's very soothing, and I feel like every time I read it, especially if it's like right before bedtime, I was falling asleep every single time. So those are the 4 books I'm currently reading, and I think I'm gonna start one more book maybe next week. If I can finish one of these books, then I'll start another book. But I'm also in the middle of reading How to Know a Person by David Brooks. I got this book from the library and it expired, and it finally became available again. I'm gonna just continue reading that. I'm about 21% into it. And I think I was taking notes in my normal like everyday bullet journal for that, but I might just continue doing that. So yeah, that's the current book update. It's Friday evening and I do have to leave the house for a couple of hours, but other than that, I think I'm good to read for the rest of the night. I am a complete mood reader, and that's why I'm always reading like multiple books at once. It's whatever I'm in the mood for in that moment. I don't typically read like 2 romances at once or 2 fantasies at once. That's not my thing. It's more like 1 contemporary romance, 1 science fiction, or 1 fantasy. Couple of self-help books here and there. I don't mind mixing my self-help books. I'm really loving this planning and reading and talking about it on camera and sharing on YouTube. Every now and then I do go back and look at my videos, and it really truly feels good. I'm in like awe of myself while I'm looking at the camera, not to sound like super narcissistic, but it really does just feel like, wow, is that me speaking? Because other than like if you're on camera, you don't really realize that you're speaking, right? I don't really know what my face looks like when I'm speaking. I don't really speak to myself on camera much other than now. And I don't really speak to myself in front of a mirror, so it's strange, but it does feel good. And I'm really liking it. Yeah. I went to go watch Deadpool and Wolverine last night. That's why this little cozy vlog right here, it was gonna be like a day in my life cozy situation, but it turned into like a couple of days, almost a week, because I wanted to catch up on the first 2 Deadpool movies. I watched them a while back and I didn't remember any of it. And then I also wanted to catch up on a couple of like the Wolverine, X-Men, Logan movies as well, which I didn't complete because I felt like Logan was way too serious for me. But Deadpool and Wolverine last night was so funny. I was dying laughing. Deadpool 2 was hilarious. Like, I thought that was the best Marvel movie other than, you know, that emotional feel we have for Endgame and Infinity War. But Deadpool, so funny. Before Deadpool, I thought Ant-Man was my favorite, and Ant-Man still is my favorite, and I don't want to compare the two, honestly. I don't want to compare. But Deadpool Wolverine was so funny. There were so many surprises. There were so many times I was just like, did you just see that shit? Is that person for real? Kind of thing. Oh my god, it was so good. Special appearances and then disappearances, and I can see how Marvel is pulling all these new phases together. I've been keeping up pretty well. I've watched Loki, I've watched Wanda, all the shows, all the movies in Marvel, except that really creepy one they put on Disney Plus with the guy in like the white mask. Yeah, I watched episode 1. I really could not get into it, so I just did not continue. Other than that, I've watched every single Marvel movie and TV show in these phases, actually since the beginning, but especially in these phases, and I'm finally seeing how they're pulling it together, and I'm really loving these phases. I feel like we all have nostalgia. We all loved the old phases. You know, when we had Iron Man, we had Cap, we had the Avengers. A lot of our current feelings about disliking these current phases comes from this nostalgia we feel from these old phases. I mean, we literally grew up with those guys and they were heroes. Meanwhile, these new guys, they're less heroes, more superheroes. We're seeing their abilities. We're seeing how they're pulling together these very complicated concepts of the multiverse and the quantum realm. Quantum realm is by far my favorite. I liked multiverse for the longest time, but I feel like quantum realm is just so fascinating. I know we're gonna have another Avengers situation coming up in the next few years. I'm excited about that. I think the next couple of movies they're releasing, I watched the trailers last night, they're releasing Venom. There was something else, I don't quite remember. There was another Marvel movie trailer that played last night. I think we just need to look at these new phases with a new eye, stop comparing it to the old ones, because the old ones are seriously golden. Nothing can beat those, but I feel like maybe we need to stop putting so much pressure on these new phases. They're also catering to newer generations, right? They're also putting more effort into new characters, so we get emotionally attached to new characters. But bringing it all back, Wolverine and Deadpool, it was so funny. I could not breathe. I was laughing so hard. And not just me, the entire theater. And this clip is extremely long. Yeah, those are my current reads. And that was my Deadpool and Wolverine reaction. I feel so fortunate to have seen it before I got, you know, bombarded with like spoilers. Because I woke up this morning and the internet is
filled with spoilers. Typically, I don't mind spoilers, but with Marvel movies, I like to be a little bit surprised, especially if I'm gonna go watch it like the night before it releases. Yeah, I went in with high expectations and my expectations were met. Oh, I also wore my Marvel t-shirt. I'll show you. I have 2 t-shirts. So I have 2 Marvel t-shirts and I let my friend wear one. I have the Deadpool one. It is so cute. I love it so much. So this, and then I have like the Avengers one. So this one has Cap. This one has the Hulk, Captain America, Thor's hammer, Mew Mew. Both of these were worn last night. I felt like a crazy Marvel person, but I feel like the entire energy in the theater was like very similar. That's it for right now. Bye.